Imagine a world where hackers don't need to break into your house to steal your secrets. They can do it with a click of a button, from halfway around the globe. Welcome to the terrifying world of cybercrime. In 2025, where AI-driven malware, devastating ransomware attacks, and high-stakes cyber warfare are changing the way we live, work, and even fight wars. Governments, businesses, and individuals are all in the crosshairs. The question is, how safe are you? Stay tuned as we reveal the shocking stories behind these digital threats, and the battle to protect our future in the age of the new digital war. The viewer's journey, what you'll discover. The future of cybercrime. In this video, you'll uncover the rapidly evolving world of cybercrime. We're not just talking about basic hacking anymore. This is a whole new level of attack, where AI-driven bots and sophisticated ransomware can cripple entire industries. Real-life impact of cyber attacks. You'll learn about shocking real-world examples of how cybercriminals are infiltrating major systems and organizations, from healthcare data breaches to devastating attacks on government agencies. The infamous WannaCry ransomware attack and the rise of supply chain hacks will be discussed in detail, showing you how easily an attack can disrupt millions of lives. The new weapon in cybercrime, artificial intelligence. Discover how hackers are now leveraging AI to create attacks that are harder to detect and even harder to defend against. AI is now not just an asset for innovation, but also a tool for crime, enabling everything from deepfake scams to self-replicating malware. The global scale of digital warfare, the stakes are higher than ever. Nation-state actors are using cyber attacks to gain an advantage over their rivals. In this video, you'll understand how countries are weaponizing cybercrime as a form of digital warfare, and how organizations and governments are fighting back. What's at risk for you? Finally, we'll help you understand the real threats to your personal security. With examples of major breaches and an insight into the future of cybercrime, you'll learn how hackers might be targeting you and your data, whether you're at home, at work, or online. The digital battle for control. As the digital world continues to expand, so does the complexity and scale of cyber threats. The core challenge is simple. How do we protect our data, infrastructure, and privacy when the tools to disrupt them are becoming more powerful, sophisticated, and widespread? Cybercriminals are not just individuals in their basements anymore. They are highly organized, using AI and ransomware to launch massive, coordinated attacks on industries, governments, and individuals. This leads to a dangerous escalation in cybercrime, one where hackers, using new AI technologies, can automate and scale attacks like never before. The central conflict revolves around this growing disparity between the power of hackers and the defenses available to protect against them. As nation-state actors leverage cyber attacks for digital warfare, and companies are unable to keep up with the rapid evolution of cyber threats, the question arises, can we, as individuals and as societies, stay ahead of these relentless, evolving threats? Will AI and other advanced tools allow cybercriminals to break into even the most secure systems? And how will governments and corporations respond to this new frontier of digital warfare? At its core, this story is about our struggle for control over our own information in a world where everything, money, healthcare, government data, is digital, and cybercriminals are constantly finding new ways to exploit vulnerabilities. This problem lays the groundwork for the rest of your video, drawing in your viewers with a pressing question that directly impacts everyone. What's being done to stop this? And can we win the battle against the increasing threat of cybercrime? 1. The beginning, the silent rise of cybercrime. We begin with an unsettling truth. In 2025, the world's biggest cybercriminal organizations are operating right under our noses, and we barely notice. Imagine a seemingly innocuous email from a colleague or an online advertisement. What if they were the doorway to a digital catastrophe? Is it just a glitch, or is a hacker already in your system too? The new weapon, AI-powered cybercrime. Now, let's dive into the real shocker. Hackers aren't just relying on traditional techniques anymore. AI is now driving cybercrime, enabling automated attacks that are smarter, faster, and harder to catch. But here's the twist. AI isn't just making attacks more efficient, it's learning from every failure, evolving at a pace we can't even keep up with. Could an AI algorithm already be infiltrating your business without anyone noticing? 3. The global crisis, ransomware and digital war. Just when you think it can't get worse, enter the most terrifying form of cybercrime. In 2025, ransomware attacks targeting national infrastructure. These attacks aren't just about stealing data. They can cripple entire cities, disrupt power grids, and even hold countries hostage. Governments are becoming the next big target, with nation-state actors launching digital warfare like never before. What's worse than a cyber attack? A cyber attack that shuts down an entire country's communication and power system. How close are we to that happening? For the deepening dark web, where nothing is safe. Behind the headlines lies the dark web, the breeding ground for criminal enterprises. Here, anything can be bought, from stolen data to malware tools that are now sold as services. But here's the most shocking part. Some of the world's most high-profile cyber attacks are executed by groups that remain invisible, working in the shadows of the dark web, protected by layers of anonymity. How deep does this rabbit hole go? Are we really safe online? Or is there something lurking that we don't even see yet? 5. The countdown. Are you prepared? Now that you've seen the full scale of the digital threat, the clock is ticking. The biggest question remains, are you, or anyone, truly prepared for the next wave of cyber attacks? The race against hackers is not just about technology, it's about survival in a new world of digital chaos. What's the next move for cybersecurity professionals? Can they stay one step ahead of attackers? Or are we on the brink of an even bigger cyber catastrophe? Will the next global crisis be born from a digital attack? And are we ready to fight back before it's too late? This structure keeps the narrative rolling from the slow build-up of cybercrime to the terrifying reality of its impact, maintaining a level of tension and uncertainty throughout. Each segment leaves the viewer with an unanswered question, compelling them to stay engaged until the end. The ransomware attack on a nation. Imagine waking up one morning, only to discover that your entire city's infrastructure has been hacked, the power grid is down, hospitals are locked out of critical health data, and your government can't communicate with emergency services. This isn't fiction, it's happening right now. In 2025, ransomware is no longer just a threat to individuals, it's a weapon of mass disruption. The emotional intensity comes from the fact that these attacks don't just steal data, they put lives at risk. Hospitals, already overburdened with global health crises, are being targeted by cybercriminals, holding patient data hostage and halting surgeries. Government systems have been paralyzed in countries across the world, and entire cities have ground to a halt. What happens when the people who are supposed to protect you, your doctors, your police, your government, are all locked out of their systems by criminals? This is the chilling reality we're facing in 2025, where ransomware attacks have shifted from simple theft to something far more sinister. It's not just about money, it's about control. Hackers are demanding ransoms, and governments and corporations are forced to choose: pay the ransom, or let millions suffer. The emotional weight of this moment comes from understanding that cybercriminals now have the ability to hold nations hostage, not just individuals. Entire communities are in their grasp, and the consequences of this can be catastrophic. The personal impact. Now, imagine yourself in the middle of this chaos. You're stuck at home without electricity or heat. Your bank accounts are frozen, and you can't even make a phone call. You have no idea what's happening outside because all communication has been shut down. It feels like a digital apocalypse, where your life, your data, your safety, your very well-being, is being dictated by unseen forces on the other side of the screen. The fear of not knowing when it will end, or whether it ever will, is palpable. This emotional peak taps into fear and uncertainty, emphasizing how cybercrime now poses an existential threat to the basic functioning of society. As viewers, they must confront the uncomfortable reality. What happens when our digital systems fail? What happens when cybercriminals have more control over us than we do over our own lives? The call to action, the urgency of defending against this new war. The moment is both dramatic and horrifying, but it also inspires urgency, a sense that we must act before it's too late. This isn't just about technology, it's about survival in a world where cybercrime is the new frontier of war. By understanding the full scale of these threats, we, as individuals, businesses, and governments, have a responsibility to arm ourselves against this invisible enemy. The emotional peak heightens the need for action and awareness, challenging viewers to consider, how prepared are you for this kind of digital warfare? And more importantly, what can be done to protect ourselves from these ever-evolving threats? The fight back and our future. As we close this journey into the heart of the dark world of cybercrime, the question remains, can we fight back? With AI-driven malware, ransomware paralyzing cities, and digital warfare threatening nations, it's clear that the battlefield is no longer just on land, but in the digital realm. But the good news is, there's hope. From cutting-edge cybersecurity technologies that use AI to outsmart cybercriminals, to global collaborations between governments and tech companies to create stronger defenses, there are efforts underway to fight back. The more we understand this invisible enemy, the better prepared we will be to protect our data, privacy, and lives. It's clear that the future of cybersecurity hinges on our ability to adapt to these new threats, but it's also a reminder that the fight isn't over. As individuals, businesses, and nations, we must remain vigilant. Just like in any war, the goal is not just survival, it's dominion over the enemy.